Hello everybody, today I thought I'd be doing something very differently because I realized that I have not been doing any videos that hasn't been about the manga in Fairy Tail recently. So today I thought I'd be doing just that. I'd be doing a video that is about the anime. So I'll be listing my most emotional moments in Fairy Tail, and they're not going to be in any particular order. So what I name last is not going to be the best moment or not the worst moment, it's just gonna be in a kind of random order. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get right into it, shall we? Lucy sacrificing Aquarius. This is one of the best moments we've seen from Lucy and in Fairy Tail in general for that matter. This of course happened in the Tartarus arc when everyone was kind of like swallowed by that thing that Margit was using, and she had to sacrifice one of her zodiac keys that she had a great connection with in order to summon the Spirit King, so that I guess he was the one who kind of undid it. I don't actually remember. It was either him or when she actually used Uranometria. One of those things at least that kind of like saved everyone. I'm pretty sure it was the Spirit King, however. And well, obviously she had a great connection with Aquarius, and that's why this moment was so emotional to a lot of people, me included, even though I don't actually like Lucy all that much. But yeah, this moment had a huge impact on the series as well as the fan base, I think, because obviously Lucy, she has a very special connection with Aquarius. Aquarius doesn't really like Lucy all that much, however she has been with Lucy ever since she was a kid, because obviously Layla Heartfilia had Aquarius before her, and then Lucy kind of inherited the key from her. So that's, I mean, it's a very tragic moment, but also kind of heartwarming in a sense, I guess, because they had been so close yet so far away at the same time, and that kind of, well, I guess you could say it closed the gap between them, because that means that their connection was very special at the end of the day, even if some people didn't realize that. I didn't really think that was gonna happen, to be honest. I don't think anyone expected that to happen, to be honest. Okay, moving on. Laxus, when he was expelled from Fairy Tail. This was rather early in the series. It was like the 5th big arc or something like that. Well, not even the 5th actually, but anyway, it was the Battle of Fairy Tail arc, or the Thunder Palace arc. I'm not sure which is the correct term for that arc, but anyway, when the Thunder Legion and Laxus was kind of challenging Fairy Tail, because Laxus wanted to take over obviously, and at the end of this arc when Natsu finally defeated him, although he didn't solo him of course, but yeah, Laxus is confronted by his grandfather Makarov, who actually goes through with expelling his grandchild, even though it's a very hard thing for him to do, and we can see it is because he cries at the end himself, even though he knows it has to be done, because that's what you do in Fairy Tail in order to preserve a guild that's had a reputation that Fairy Tail has. And then of course after that we get the Fantasia parade or whatever, and we of course see everyone just see a Laxus off. This was a fantastic moment in Fairy Tail. I think everyone can agree that this is definitely way up there. I mean, it doesn't have to be everyone's favorite moment. It's not my favorite moment, for instance, but it's way up there, and I think everyone will agree, because obviously Laxus is just one of those guys that up until that point Laxus had been a jerk. And that's when that's kind of his turning point, because after that, when he then returned in the Tender Island arc, he was a nice guy. Of course, that's because he had kind of like realized that what he has done was really wrong and all of that. Well, he kind of did at the end of the Battle of Fairy Tail, because he said he just wanted to make the guild stronger. He just didn't really do it the right way, I guess. But yeah, moving on to the next one is Zarah is revealed to be an illusion. This is of course Mavis's imaginary friend that we actually thought was her real friend up until the very end of the Fairy Tail Zero arc. This is actually one of the most recent arcs in the anime, and it was like a standalone manga, to be honest. It wasn't part of the actual manga of Fairy Tail. It was its own manga. And this is why I think this is a great moment, because obviously it's an arc that's technically filler, but at the same time not, because this is obviously canon because it's a manga, but it wasn't part of this actual story, yet Hiro decided that this should be in, I guess. And so they put it in the anime as well. And the reason I put it on this list is because, well, we kind of get to see these two characters develop a friendship over time in this, well, it's a short arc, but we do get to see some crazy development in the earlier episodes. Obviously, Zarah, she doesn't really like Mavis that much, mostly because Mavis is treated badly and Zarah is like a spoiled little brat at the beginning. And then it changes because obviously their village is attacked on the Tenor Island, and that's when everything just blows out of proportion, because that's when they become friends very briefly. But obviously we see that Zarah is kind of attacked or injured, to be more specific, and Mavis kind of try to help her, and we think that she manages to do this as we see a time skip over time where Zarah is actually there. But at the very end of the arc, it is revealed that Mavis actually conjured a illusion unintentionally of Zarah when she was a kid, and that illusion has persisted because Mavis thought she was real, and now that she knows that she was a fake, well, she disappears. A fucking tragic moment. Well, it's kind of a heartwarming moment as well, that too, because obviously we get the kind of happy feeling about it, because obviously Mavis is moving on and all of that, but I think it should be classed as a tragic moment. Okay, Igneel is killed by Acnologia. This is one of the greatest moments within the anime so far, I think, and the reason being that from the very beginning of the series we see Natsu looking for his parent dragon Igneel, and I mean like from the very first chapter in the first episode. And in the Tartarus arc, when it is finally, after such a long time, revealed that he has been inside of Natsu, and then he comes out just to fight Acnologia in order to save everyone. We kind of get to see a glimpse of him. And just a glimpse before he is forced to get killed. I mean, he does kind of have to get killed, because obviously if he wouldn't get killed, then Acnologia would be on the humans. And once Igneel is dead, I think the only reason he actually left is because Igneel injured him by ripping off his arm, as well as when he died himself, of course. And that's the point where shit just blew out of proportion, as we see Natsu just breaks apart emotionally. He just screams out in the open like, you know, his world is just fucking destroyed before him, essentially. At least for the time being. He of course recovers from this pretty quickly, to be honest, which is quite interesting. But yeah, and then, well, yeah, he kind of has this short conversation with Igneel's spirit, I guess, where he just promises him that he should kill Acnologia, and we've yet to see that. We might get to see that, who knows. Okay, moving on to one of the biggest moments for me personally, and that's Lisanna's return to Earthland. This was of course at the end of the Edelus arc, where we find out that Lisanna from Earthland has actually been trapped in Edelus, and when they return by force, kind of because they remove all the magic power in Edelus, they all get returned to Earthland, and Lisanna is coming with them without willing it. And this is why everyone of course thinks that she is the Edelus Lisanna and all of that, because obviously she can't be Earthland's Lisanna, because Lisanna from their world was actually thought to be dead. And then it is revealed that she was never killed, she was just swapped, essentially. Well, she was taken to Edelus because the Lisanna in Edelus actually died, and then she is returned with her sister and brother in Earthland at the end of this episode, which was fucking heart-wrenching. Not heartwarming, by the way, heart-wrenching. Even though it is a happy moment, I mean, I think most people kind of cried at this moment. I didn't, I'd never cried anime and all that, but if I could, I probably would without a doubt have done that. Even my classmate, I think, did this, because even though he's not a great fairy tale fan, he did say that if there was one moment where he couldn't bear it, it was during this moment. Okay, the last on my list, but it's not the only moment that there is left, of course, but it is the only left on this list, and that is future Lucy returning home after the Eclipse Gate is destroyed. And the reason I put this so far down, and this is actually my best moment personally, even though the rest aren't really listed. So the reason why I put this so high is because, well, while I don't like Lucy all that much, the moment that future Lucy died, I mean, it was a fucking tragic moment as hell, because it was the present Lucy that was supposed to die, even though the future Lucy jumped in front of her, because if the present Lucy would have died, then the future Lucy would have died as well anyway, so she has killed herself essentially because of that. And at the end of the arc, when the gate is destroyed, we of course see her getting transported back, and we see her in this golden grass field, which I think is a form of heaven. I'm not sure actually, it could be that they're alive. It's still a topic of debate in the fanbase. I personally think she died though, because obviously we see all the other people, and future Rogue did say that that Natsu died, and we see Natsu there as well, so I think that everyone died and Lucy just joins them in death. And this was, well, one of the craziest and saddest moments, well, happiest in this case I suppose, because it was a reunion of sorts in all of anime to me. Because I mean, I have seen quite a few of animes and all of that, but this moment was really sad. I mean, it's not the saddest in all of anime, but it is it is definitely the saddest or happiest in all of fairy tale, no doubt about it, even though it's not linked to the actual plot of fairy tale, because this was a future timeline. But still, it got me good, I'm gonna be honest. Alright, that's going to be all for this video on my personal favorite emotional moments in fairy tale, and probably a lot of other people's as well. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and if you did, please like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're new to my channel. This has been your favorite host, Perm, and I'll see you soon.